says we have 9 people so far, so I'll probably give it a few minutes for some people to join. Hello, welcome. Hope you're all doing well. Hello, Lauren. Always good to see you. Hi, you guys. All right, we do have a few people here. Good. I think the comments were just a little bit delayed. I was like, oh. I hope my computer isn't too loud running in the background. I have it up for the questions that you guys left on my community tab. Okay, here's all the people. Hi guys, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I wanted to give it at least a minute or so for a few people to join before I start chatting. Yes, what is your question? I did just get on live. It's been 1 minute and 30 seconds so far. I love you! Thank you for being here. You guys saying that you enjoy my videos and that you're a big fan and stuff really means a lot to me, so thank you so much for being here. And hello to all the new people joining. Okay, good. I'm glad the computer isn't too loud. It has its, like, times where it's super loud, and then sometimes it's not loud at all. Been watching your videos all day while making some bees for my favorite YouTuber. Oh, thank you so much. Super cute bees. I love doing bees. They also sell super well. I can't sell because I'm too young, but is there a group on Facebook I can join? I don't personally have a Facebook group. If you mean like a crochet group, or I guess I should ask, do you mean like a crochet group, or do you mean like a group to sell in, or do you mean like a group to find markets in? Like there's a lot of different Facebook groups. But either way, I don't personally have a Facebook group. That's something that I have contemplated doing, but I don't have one as of right now. But there are a lot of Facebook groups you can join for your area and for different markets and events going on in your area, stuff like that, if you are looking to sell in your area. How often do you go yarn shopping? Not very often recently because I am trying to kind of use some of my skeins since we're moving, so I'll have less to move, but typically just whenever I need to restock. You follow me on TikTok? Thank you so much. Hello, welcome. Yeah, to sell, there's a lot of different groups. You probably, if you don't want to sell online and worry about shipping and stuff, you should join your local Facebook groups in order to sell items. But just in general, there's also a lot of like handmade buy and sell groups on Facebook as well. I love you so much. You inspired me to crochet and it brought me out of depression. You're my hero. I need to say thank you. That is so sweet. I love hearing that. And really, crochet is such a beautiful thing that can bring so many people together, and I just love the fact that I'm able to inspire you guys and you're able to inspire me. Even when you just type out a simple comment that says like, oh, I'm crocheting a little bee, or oh, I'm working on this or that, it inspires me all the time. So definitely, I love hearing from you guys, and it just means the world to me. I'm not super familiar with Facebook groups, so you probably just want to look around. Finally managed to catch a live. Welcome. So glad to have you here. Do you think it's worth selling crochet items on Etsy? Totally. The main thing with Etsy though is you do have to advertise for yourself. They are not going to promote, excuse me, voice crack. They're not going to promote you very much. So you do have to go through social media yourself or whatever other platforms you want to use to promote yourself to actually drive people to your Etsy to get sales. Hello, welcome, what inspired you to crochet? I just thought crocheting was really cool. My grandma crocheted, and I always just loved the stuff she would make. She never made like plushies or anything, but I'd also seen pictures of plushies and stuff on Pinterest and whatnot, and I just thought it was really cool, so I decided to learn. Good morning, Katie. Sending lots of love from Australia and lots of crafting inspiration too. To everyone here, hope everyone else is doing well. Yes, I hope everyone else is doing well, and thank you so much for joining. And so funny that you say good morning because it's 9 p.m. for me. I use my crochet plushies as a fidget. It's super cool. There's also like, you can crochet a lot of like stress balls and stuff too. So most of your yarn Premier. Most of it is actually Burnett, but recently I have been using a lot of Premier as well. More free patterns, please. I definitely plan on doing more videos like today's video was, where I will share a lot of crochet patterns, so keep an eye out for that. Any tips on growing a YouTube channel? I'm a small YouTuber, think like 80 subs, or 60 subs, excuse me, and want to grow. Consistency is the main thing for YouTube especially, but pretty much any platform, the more often you post, the more likely it is that someone's going to see it, and they're going to like it, and they're going to follow you, subscribe to you, whatever else, depending on the platform, you know? But I honestly just consistency. I do also have a video on starting a crochet YouTube channel and how to grow it, so that would also be a great one to watch if you haven't already. Sorry guys, I'm behind on the comments. I'm a beginner and learned a lot from your tutorial. I'm so glad. Working on a sunflower turtle, super cute. I love the sunflower turtles. No problem. I saw you. Never. Oh, cute. This is your first live. Love it so much. I'm so glad you're here. Is it worth selling crochet garments? I will say anything you crochet that is smaller, takes less time, and is automatically going to be cheaper because it takes you less time and less materials, and those items are automatically going to sell better because they're cheaper. At least typically, I guess it depends where you live, but in general, smaller items are going to sell better majority of the time. But you can always try it out, and I feel like with garments, a custom order system is a really good thing to do. That way people can get items made specifically to their size and specifically in the colors they want and all of that jazz. So you could definitely start some sort of custom order system for garments and just have like a base price of maybe like $100 or something, and then add-ons depending on like what yarn they want and the size and how long it would take and all of that stuff. I loved all the no-sew patterns that you shared. Thank you. They're all great market makes. I had my last Market Sunday and my possums did so well. The possums are so good. They're like typically my #1 bestseller, and yeah, all of those that I shared in today's video are great for markets because they are just super quick and super cute, so a lot of people like them too. Yes, thank you. You responded to, Lauren responded to my Instagram, and yes, my Instagram is just Katie Bean Creative, same name as it is here. 8 p.m. for you? Yeah, it's 9 for me. I'm Eastern time. What is the best yarn for clothing? Typically cotton yarn. I mean, it depends what you're looking to make. Like if you want to make a sweater or something, you might want to go for like a blend with maybe like wool or something, especially if you live somewhere that it's cold. But typically cotton, because that can be washed a lot easier than most other yarns. You and your videos have been wonderful to watch and got me to try crochet, and now I'm able to sell at markets and I'm sending presents I made to my niece and nephew for the first time. That is so sweet and so special. I'm so happy to hear that and love hearing that. Thanks for your help, of course. Do you have any tips for interacting with people at markets? My first market is in 10 days. I'm not sure how to interact with customers. This was something that I definitely was not sure of either when I first got started, but honestly, just being like a regular person. You don't have to be like super salesy, like, oh look, I have this item for this price. If they ask you, do you have this, or have you ever crocheted this, then you can obviously show them. But just have a normal conversation. Ask how their day is. Talk about the weather if you're outside, especially. Have a normal conversation with people. And if they start asking questions about the crochet, great. But the longer you're having a conversation with them, the longer they're staying in your booth and looking around at your stuff. So honestly, just having a regular conversation is great. Or even complimenting somebody, because everybody loves a compliment. Like if you like their shirt or you like their hair or something, tell them that, you know? Just be nice and have a normal conversation with people. Crochet caterpillars are so cute and remind me of my childhood book, or of that childhood book, totally. It's The Very Hungry Caterpillar, right? I want to say that's the name of the book. I'm getting back into crochet. I got carpal tunnel and tendonitis, so if I crochet too much, consequences come, and I was put in a cast for 6 months and in a brace for 3 months. Ooh, that is terrible. Yeah, definitely take it easy. As a guy who knits and crochets, I'm also keen to start some sort of channel. Yes, that'd be awesome. I feel like we need more guys sharing this wonderful craft. Totally. I've been doing it for about 8 years. I'm 22 this year. Oh wow, awesome. Yeah, you've been doing it for quite a while then. Definitely, I feel like more guys in the crochet space is definitely great and always welcome. I mean, literally anybody. I feel like there is space for anybody and everybody. So definitely start a channel. That'd be so fun. Oh, I almost slid out of the YouTube app on accident. That would have been not good. You inspired me to look into selling in a shop. Oh, awesome. I found a collective in my local area that's just setting up in about 3 weeks, so I'm excited. Awesome. Working on baby heirloom blankets. Super cool. I love the idea of selling little baby blankets. I think that'll be a super cute thing to do. Thanks for your help, of course. How do you find markets? Markets are all over the place. I did post a TikTok recently, which my TikTok is also Katie Being Creative if you want to check it out. But recently I posted a TikTok about a website I use to find markets. It's called fairsandfestivals.net, or it's festivalsandfairs.net. One of those. But anyways, that website is pretty good to actually like search through. You can search for events that are indoors, events that are outdoors. You can search for like a certain amount of area, like 20 miles or 10 miles or 50 miles away from where you live. So that is really helpful to find markets that are specifically like close to you. And then also Facebook groups are great. I currently live in the Tampa, Florida area. I think most of you know that. So I'm currently a part of the Tampa Bay vendors group as well as a Florida vendors group on Facebook. So those, I also find some events every now and again on those. Thank you, Lauren. You are such a good moderator. The opossum pattern is on Instagram. And I also linked it in today's YouTube video if you haven't already watched, because it was a pattern that I showed in that video. Where do you buy yarn and what brands do you recommend? I buy yarn at Joanne. Oh my gosh, you guys. I cannot speak. Literally all day today I've been saying words totally wrong, so I apologize. Not a good day for me to have a live scheduled when I like can't even talk, like just gibberish comes out of my mouth, I feel like. Anyways, Joanne is where I typically buy my yarn from. Sometimes Michael's and stuff, like this is Sweet Snuggles Light, so this is Michael's. But majority of this is Bernat blankets and baby blanket and blanket brights and stuff, and that is all from Joanne, and they tend to have the best sales, so that's why I shop there as opposed to somewhere else. Sorry, I was putting my computer on the ground because it just got really loud randomly. Okay. trying to catch up on all your comments. I'm sorry, guys. I get too chatty on just one comment, and then here I am talking about one while like 5 other comments are coming in at the same time. How to sell knitting and crochet on Instagram? Mainly through messaging people. If somebody messages you and says they want to buy from you, and then you can work out a deal from there on what you're making and what you're selling it for and all of that. But just beware of scammers, because there are quite a few scammers out there that'll just be like, can I buy from you? And they ask you to like go on their PayPal and whatever, and it's like a weird thing. So just be careful. But through messages is how to sell on Instagram. At least if you want to do like orders to each individual person. I definitely realize some people want to talk and others don't. I had an old lady bolt out of my booth after I said hi to her. Oh my goodness. Some people are definitely like that. Some people go say hi and they'll just like look at you as if you like, or I don't even know, like they'll like stare. And it's like, okay. Like, what's that mean? And then some people are like totally like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, and we'll have like a 30-minute conversation with you, so you never know. Yes, that is the book. I want to design a caterpillar pattern. That'd be super cute. I know Crochet Grove also has a caterpillar pattern. I've made the mini one, but she also has a like medium one and a like extra large one that's like huge. But I've made the mini one before. I don't typically do custom orders. Sometimes I do. Actually, after my event that I had on Saturday, I did do a custom order and made it the very next day, and the girl picked it up from me. So it was just a cat, so it was super easy. So it wasn't really like actually custom. But yeah. Anyways, sometimes, but not very often. Any tips for crochet squishmallows? Well, all the squishmallows are my own patterns, and within the patterns I link a lot of tutorials and stuff that are helpful. So if you don't know certain techniques like color changes and whatnot, I have tutorials linked in the patterns. So if you're ever interested in making one of the squishmallows, you can purchase the pattern and then you'll get a lot of tutorials linked in it. And you can always message me for help if you need help. After you purchase the pattern, you're like, wait, this part doesn't make sense, or whatever else, then you can always message me. Ooh, I can only imagine how brutal carpal tunnel surgery is. My mom had it, and yeah, that was not fun. Compression gloves are totally super helpful. I've only had one market, and so many have asked for business cards. I don't do Etsy, YouTube, etc. Work full time and crochet on free time. My market is in September. Any suggestions? Next market is in September. Any suggestions? I would say to at least make an Instagram page or something like that that you can bring people to on a business card, and they can follow your Instagram page, especially people that live in your area. And if they really like something they bought from you, they will follow you on social media, and then when you post, hey, I'm going to be at this market on this date, they might come specifically to find you to purchase from you. Like at my event on Saturday, it was not my typical location where I set up, but still I had a family that actually came with their kids and everything because they saw on Instagram where I was set up, and they were like, we had to come back and get more from you, so we're here, and they bought like 2 things. So that is definitely worth it for just some sort of social media page. If you don't like Instagram, you can use Facebook. If you don't like Facebook, you can use TikTok. Like, there's so many options, but at least just one page where you can at least keep people updated. This is the market I'm selling at next. This is where you can find me next. And if you do have a market and you don't know what your next market is going to be, you can just tell people, follow me on Instagram, and once I know where my next market is going to be, that's when I will post it and you can find it on there. So that is also good, because sometimes, especially like right now it's not my typical market season, so even though I am doing like small events, but still it's not my typical season. So at the end of the season last month, I was like, I'm not really sure what market I'm going to be at next, so just follow me on social media if you want to know. Okay, I rambled about that question far too much, you guys. I am so sorry. Hi Katie, this is my first live from you. I have a question. Why do you wear fingerless gloves when you crochet? Because I always see you have them when you're crocheting and always wondering. I think a few people were talking about the compression gloves and replied to you. But yeah, they're compression gloves and they just help for hand pain. Just as simple as that. Watching this and working on a no-sew turtle, super cute. No-sew turtles are the best. What qualifications do you need to sell at markets? It depends what markets you're looking into. Even your state, it depends on, because it depends like if you need a license to sell and all that jazz. But what I would do is look into a specific market and look on their vendor application and see what it says. See if it says you need a business license. Say if it says you need, like, look at all the requirements basically. And if it says you need a license or something like that, then go ahead and get that license if you want to do that event. Or find an event that doesn't say you need that type of thing, right? So that's really always my advice, is just find the events that you want to sell at and then look at what they require, because it's going to be different for literally every single event. And keep in mind, hello. I used to sell on Etsy, but I got an order and used my dad's account, so I got a charge back, so I quit. I'm not sure why that would have happened, but you can always sell on other platforms. There's tons of other platforms. Can't wait for you to post the tutorial for the mushroom. We'll definitely make it. I'm excited to post it too. I'm hoping I can film it like tomorrow or something, so that I can post it fairly soon. Your crochet is awesome. Thank you so much. I recently finished a giant cardigan, as I am. All the colors are suddenly super cool. Sorry, some of them, I was reading all of them out loud and then I'm just kind of skimming through because I'm so behind. You deserve so many more subscribers. Thank you. I've been here for a while. So like, you guys could subscribe. I mean, most of you watching this, I'm sure, are subscribed, but yeah. Have you crocheted crossbody bags or any accessories in general? I have a few times, but not very often, especially recently. Mainly I stick to plushies. Do you think business cards are worth it? How do you package things at markets? Okay, I'm gonna answer one question at a time because this comment has multiple questions. So do you think business cards are worth it? Yes, 100%. Even for one of my next markets coming up, a lady found me at the market I typically go to for the event that she's having, and she just took my card, and I was like, yeah, this is the best way to get a hold of me, and she did. So just for networking purposes, for like finding other events in your area and stuff, it's great to have business cards, but also, again, for people to find your social media, if you have Etsy or if you have Instagram, like wherever you want to bring people to, it's great to have a business card. So my business card actually has a QR code on it, and that QR code goes to my link tree, which has all of my links. So it has my YouTube channel, it has my Etsy, it has my Ribbler shop, everything. So it is a great thing to have business cards. All right, let me try to find that comment again. YouTube is the worst about like going all the way down. I'm in the middle of reading that comment. Don't move the comment. How do you package things at markets? As far as bringing them to markets, I just put them in a tote. I did actually buy like shipping bags, not shipping bags, that's not the right word, moving bags, I guess, recently, and I'm gonna switch over for my upcoming market season to using those for bringing plushies to markets. And then I do offer little like not plastic bags, but paper bags, I guess, that I bought off of Amazon in bulk for customers if they want one after they buy something. I know some people don't want bags, and it's hard for me to figure out how to give my social media information. So yeah, social media information, definitely business cards are the best way. And then for the bags, yeah, some people want bags and some people don't, so you can just ask. And if you don't want to invest in bags like actual like ones from Amazon or something, you can just reuse like Walmart bags, grocery bags, and the plastic ones, you know, and just save them and bring like a small box of them to your markets and just reuse them. That's also a great way. Katie, how was your last craft market? The one I had on Saturday was definitely not like my typical markets, but it was actually my idea to start doing like our own little market at the store I sell at. So it was the first one we ever did like that, and because of that, it was a lot less traffic than a typical event is, but we're already doing brainstorming on how we can actually promote it more and like get more signage on the road and stuff like that, so that hopefully more people will come in and shop. So we have 2 more events in July and August. One in July and one in August. So hopefully it will improve, but yeah, it was definitely like the least amount of traffic for any event I've been to, but that's okay. I didn't pay to be there anyway, so like I can't be mad. Any tips on bringing on physically pricing your items? Tag each one or baskets with price. For items that I have only one of that item, I do an individual price tag. For items that I have multiple, like the mushrooms, the frogs, the ones that you guys know that I make like a bunch of for each market, I do a bin with a price tag because it's so much easier than going through and putting a price tag on like 10 different mushrooms. So that's just my way of doing it, and if you've watched my market vlogs, you can see more in detail how I actually put price tags on and all that jazz. Question, where do you get a pattern that you make? I make all kinds of patterns that I get from all kinds of different places, so today's video is a good one to check out, and I have all the patterns linked in the description box of today's video. Again, the free no-sew crochet patterns video, and you can see the patterns that I showcased in that video. Again, I cannot speak today. I apologize. Hi, can I ask a question? So I'm selling at a market and there is another crocheter. How can I stand out? Honestly, I don't think you really need to worry about it. I personally have never been to a market where there's another crocheter, at least that I know of. The market that I typically do is very big, and it's kind of like separated a little bit by some buildings. So technically there could be other crocheters, and I just wouldn't know if they're like in another section. And if you do go to an event that the coordinators are good about it, they will either only let one person that does that specific thing into the event, or they will at least separate you out to where you're more likely to, like, you know, people won't, I don't know, you guys know what I mean. Like, you're more likely to be separated from that person and not like right next to each other, right? But still, you really don't need to worry about it, because even if they crochet, they're going to have different items. They may make blankets and you may make plushies. Or even if you both make plushies, you're not going to have the same exact patterns. One of you might love making frogs, so you're going to have like a ton of frogs. And one of you might hate making frogs, so you're not going to have any frogs. So honestly, I would just say make what you like making, and yeah, just go from there. And if it ends up being like you don't make very many sales or something like that happens, then you just know not to go to that market again. So fun to crochet big items, but kind of hard to sell them. have to be priced on the higher side. Totally. I always like to say that the bigger items bring people into your booth, at least at markets, and they make you sales on these smaller items. So if you have a bunch of small items, like $10, $20 items, then you can sell those at a more. You guys, words are not working for me today. I'm getting frustrated because like the words I want to come out of my mouth are not coming out of my mouth. I'm gonna take a water break for a quick second, and then I'm gonna try to actually say what I'm trying to say. Okay, so as I was saying, if you have big items that took you a long time, so they have to be a higher price, you can still put them in your booth, and they're not going to sell as often, obviously, because they're more expensive. But still, if people like them, it will catch their eye, and then they will hopefully come into your booth and maybe buy something smaller, or maybe they will buy that big item. Do, 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 do. Now I gotta try to find where I was. Okay, there we go. What do you need for a business license? Can a minor get one? I'm not sure. I think Lauren was actually responding to that. Yeah, most business things, from what I understand at least, have to be you're over 18, sometimes 16, but most of the time over 18. Even like to have an Etsy account, you have to be over 18. So if you're under 18, make sure you go through with a parent and have them help you set up the account and have it under their name. That way you don't get in any trouble, because they will take your Etsy account down and stuff if you are not like if they find out you're underage, they'll take your Etsy account down. That's what I'm trying to say. I love that you guys are having conversations with each other. Don't mind if I'm skipping over like things that you're replying to each other, because I'm trying to answer questions that people are specifically asking me. So I apologize if I'm skipping over anything else. And if you notice that I skip over yours, I'm not doing it on purpose, trust me. There's just a lot, and I'm probably accidentally skipping over some. So if I do skip over yours, you can re-ask it in the chat. Hi Katie, do you have tips on getting a lot done for your market/market prep tips? Definitely set goals, write down what you want to make. If you guys follow my TikTok, you've probably seen my market inventory series. I've done that like 2 or 3 times, I think. And I'll basically write down a full list of the items that I want to crochet before my next market, and I will do daily updates on TikTok of this is how much I got done today. There's this many days until my market. This is how many items I got done today. There's this many days until my market. And do updates until I finish all the items that I wanted to make, or until the market comes, because sometimes I don't get all the items done that I wanted to make before the market comes. But either way, having like a TikTok series is a fun way to do it, and it keeps me accountable because I'm posting every single day and sharing what I'm making. But yeah, in general, just write out a list is the best way I found. After I go through my inventory, I will write out a list of, okay, I have like barely any mushrooms, so I need to make mushrooms, something like that. Hi Katie, do you find that your plushies sell well on Etsy? I've only done my plushies on Etsy once actually, and that was very recent, and I will have a full breakdown video coming out fairly soon on how that went. It was like fine. It wasn't like super like, oh, exciting. Like I didn't make as much as I typically do at my typical markets, but I also did make $0, right? So it was kind of a nice in between, and it was something good for me to do while I am like on my off season for markets, to still have a little bit of income coming in even though I have income from like YouTube and stuff too. But you know what I mean, like income from selling plushies coming in, and also a good way for those of you that watch me to get plushies from me if you wanted them. I feel like there's gonna be such a long like pause of me just like scrolling through the comments trying to get back where I was because YouTube just like moves it on me. Okay. Hi Katie, I was just wondering if you have any tips for first markets because I am starting Saturday markets in late summer / fall. Super cool. First markets is just honestly such a learning experience. So go into it knowing that you will learn a lot and make sure you have fun. And just try not to stress it too much because I know first markets can be very stressful and very nerve-wracking. So just try not to stress it too much. Nice part about Linktree QR code is you also don't need to worry about your links changing or something. Yes, you just update the link. Yeah, totally. So your link will work the same no matter what you have on there. So if I randomly stopped using like TikTok or something, I could remove my TikTok from that, and people that scan the QR code wouldn't see the TikTok anymore, even though the TikTok was on there when I made the QR code. So that part is nice. You need to have your own store someday. You know, it's honestly almost like I have my own store. I'm not there all the time, so it's not my own store, obviously. Like, I don't own it or anything. But the store I do sell at, once everything is settled with our move and everything, which is officially happening in July, once everything's settled with that, I have volunteered, which it is a volunteer position because they're a nonprofit, so it's like I wouldn't be getting paid for it, but I volunteered to maybe like once a week or so be at the store and actually like open and close the store and run the store on some days if they don't have anybody. So I am excited about that, and it'll almost be like having my own store. You're heading off now. Look after yourself and thanks for the chat. I'll see what I can do channel-wise. Thank you so much for being here, and I wish you best of luck on your channel. How much is too much for a vendor's fee at your first market? All the markets near me are like $200+ in vendor fees. I'm nervous I would lose money. I would say $200+ is high. For sure. The market that I go to that I make around $1,000 each time is a $50 vendor fee. So that's obviously a pretty good profit margin. Other than, of course, that doesn't include like materials put into the stuff and all of that. But you understand what I mean. So I can't obviously tell you how much is too much. It depends on, first off, how much you're able to crochet and bring in inventory. Second off, how busy these events are. Because if an event is busier, they're going to charge a lot more for a vendor fee because you can make a lot more of a profit. And it's probably something that's in high demand because it's a lot busier. So what I would personally do is go scope out the events, especially if it's something that happens like once a month or something. Go to the events, look at how busy they are. If they are super busy and you feel like it's worth it to pay that amount that they're asking, then go for it. If they aren't super busy and you're like, okay, I'm not going to make any money, then don't go for it. And worst come to worst, you could always try it. Just make sure, especially if you're spending that much on an event, make sure that you aren't like spending a whole bunch on your setup. So try, and I mean, I know you need tables, and most of the time they require a tent if it's outside and stuff like that. So you'll probably need to put a couple $100s into your setup, but try your best to like go to thrift stores and shop like cheaply for your setup, especially if you're spending that much on the vendor fee, is what I would say. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Sorry guys. I'm like all over the place, I feel like. Have you done any Halloween markets? Trying to think. I don't actually think so. I think this year will be my first one. And I do have a market picked out. I'm not actually signed up for it yet because they haven't like actually set a date and like even like put out a vendor application or anything yet. So I am keeping an eye on it for when they put out a vendor application, but it is actually a pumpkin patch. So I'm really excited about that, and I feel like that'll be a great place to set up for October for like making a bunch of Halloween items and pumpkins. I want to crochet a coaster or layered rose. That'd be super pretty. Do you file for taxes? I am going to have to. This will be my first year in business that I've actually ever made enough money to file taxes. So, yeah. That's gonna be fun. But yeah, I'm definitely not the person to ask about taxes because this is my first year actually making like a decent amount of money in my business because I've been doing markets regularly and actually making a decent chunk of money from YouTube now, thanks to you guys. So yeah, it'll actually be my first year to do taxes. You're so pretty and beautiful. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Honestly, that's a difficult question because I don't know. I mean, literally, like everything could change in a day, right? So you never know. But I would like to be like a little more settled down, like in my personal life. Like, I don't know, maybe at least like a relationship, but that's nothing to do with business. But business-wise, I'm sure is what you want the answer to. But yeah, I would like to still be doing markets. Unless I have like some sort of issue, like my hands just completely give out or something and I can't crochet anymore, something like drastic like that. But I would definitely like to keep doing YouTube, obviously. I love YouTube. And I feel like the direction of my channel as things progress is probably a lot of businessy type stuff. Videos on markets and tips for markets and that kind of thing is a big thing that I like doing, and I find is pretty much what does best on my channel now. So yeah, I think that's kind of the direction for as I get older, at least. But for now, it's plushies. Halloween is my favorite holiday, but I'm not sure what to crochet to give away. Any ideas? I do have some from like last year, I think, or maybe 2 years ago, videos on like fall/Halloween project ideas. So I feel like that would be best to check out because off the top of my head, I'm in summer mode right now, so I can't even think of anything really. Do you have any tips for finding markets in your area? Facebook groups are great for that, as well as just honestly Google searches. Thank you. So you find that markets do pretty well. Totally. Markets are always best, in my opinion. I mean, that's been my experience, but I guess everybody, would have a different experience. If you happen to go viral on the internet or something, then you'll probably make a lot more money selling your stuff online than you would at a market. But that's not, like what happens for the average person. So, hey Katie, I was thinking of starting a business. The market for me is $140 fee, 15 by 15 space, 2-day event. I have to supply my own things. Do you think I should apply? Would I profit? It would definitely depend on how much you're able to crochet. I would definitely make sure that you at least have like $500 to $1,000 worth of inventory if you're paying over $100 vendor fee. And yeah, I would think that you can definitely profit. If it's your first market, you probably won't have as high of a profit margin, of course, because you'll have to buy tables, buy a tent, like all the things. But if you even happen to have that kind of thing from other things like camping or whatever, like the chairs that we use, we already had from camping, so I didn't have to buy that. So in general, you can already use what you have too. So yeah, I think $140 is profitable as long as you play it right. And especially for a 2-day event, I don't feel like that's too bad. My first 2-day event that I have ever done is coming up in September, and it was $150. So I don't feel like $140 is too bad for 2 days. Yes, the fairsandfestival.net site is super helpful. What is your favorite crochet pattern to make? Probably like little octos and stuff, because those are like kind of mindless to make and just cute. I always give the patterns with my YouTube videos. If I ever mention a pattern, if I'm making a pattern in a video, it's linked in the description box. So yeah, I do plan on doing more videos where I am like sitting and giving you ideas, like this is a crochet pattern that I've tried and I really like, or like today's video was. But I do always list out the patterns. Trust me, it takes me like hours, you guys. Whenever, especially for my market videos and everything I crocheted videos, whenever I have a Google Doc that has all the patterns listed out, it takes me like hours to go through and find all the links for every single pattern, but I do it because I know it's useful, and as a viewer, I want to know what the crochet patterns are, and I would like to be able to find them easily, and not every person does that, so I do that for you guys. So please know that for every single video, the patterns are there, I promise. Unless I forgot, which if I ever do, then you can comment on the video and tell me that I forgot, and I will get the pattern link to you. But for almost every single video I have on my channel, the link should be there. I have never made a mermaid. No, I have not. And hello, welcome. Sorry, you've probably been here for a while, and I'm just now saying hi to you because I'm just now scrolling through that part of the chat. If you partner with a store, do you exclusively sell with them? Not for the store I sell it. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Not for the store I sell it. But I assume it'd be different for every store. You would have to look at what the contract says. I do have a contract with the store I sell it. That was really simple. Just agreeing, saying that I would pay the fee every month, all that jazz. So yeah, it's not exclusive by any means. And she actually promotes, like, we all congregate and talk about markets that are happening in the area. Yesterday when I was at the store, the lady's name is Karen that runs the store, and I was talking to her yesterday about a market that she didn't know about, and she was mentioning markets to me that I didn't know about that happened in our area. So it's also like a great way that we all bounce ideas off of each other, and it's great. So it's definitely not exclusive. For markets, I have a huge market coming up in September with a 12 by 12 booth space. Your first market completely sold out. That is awesome. So I'm not sure. What sells well? Any suggestions for fall/Halloween plushies? Pumpkins are always a good seller, I know for sure. I'm trying to think. Little Ghost I think there's specifically a like small ghost pattern by Crochet with Bay on Instagram. It's a no-sew one and everything, and that is also a super cute one and super quick. So I know that one sells well for a lot of people too. But yeah, honestly, like anything you can find that is quick and small is pretty good for anything to sell or to find crochet patterns. I share a lot of crochet patterns in my videos, so definitely in the video description. And also, like Pinterest, Ribbler is a great platform for free patterns and paid patterns. Etsy, those are my main platforms, or people's blogs. Some people have their own website where they sell patterns or they write free patterns. So those are my main like sources for finding patterns. Do you make money crocheting for friends? Do you have a business? Yes, I have a business, and my business is my full-time job. If I do crochet for friends, which if I'm being honest with you guys, I don't really have friends. I just don't, like, other than you guys, like, I don't have friends. So I don't really crochet for people, like, in my life very often. Sometimes I do get orders, like I was telling you guys earlier in this live. I got an order at the event I was at on Saturday, and it was actually a girl that worked in the shopping center that we were set up at. So she was able to come the next day because I was at the store 2 days in a row and pick up what she ordered from me. So stuff like that I do, but I don't really have like friends that I sell to. Not typically, at least, but if I did, I would be charging them because I can't just crochet for free. I would if I had the time to, but I do not. Do you have any tips for getting picked as pattern tester? I've applied for pattern test but never get picked. Is there anything I can do to try to change that? Okay. I haven't done any tester calls in a long time, but once our move is settled, I plan on doing them more regularly. So definitely apply for my tester calls because I try to pick people that are new to testing patterns, whether you've never tested for me or whether you've never tested at all. I like to try to pick people that are like new, because a lot of people want you to have pattern testing experience, but it's like, how do you get pattern testing experience if nobody picks you for a pattern test? So I like to try to do that, and then you can post on your page that, look, I tested this pattern, and other people that you're applying for tester calls for might be more likely to choose you if you've already tested at least one pattern for somebody else. So there's that. And also try to find people that don't have as many followers, because just somebody that sticks out in my mind is Crochet Grove. She has over 100,000 followers on Instagram, and she gets hundreds of comments on her tester call every time she posts one. Probably even like thousands of comments of people applying for her tester call, and she's only going to choose a certain amount of people to test it because you can't have literally everybody test the pattern, right? Like, that's not how it works. And if you are applying to somebody's tester call like that, you're not as likely to get it because, of course, there's a ton of people that want to test for her. So try to find people that are maybe more so new to designing crochet patterns and don't have as many followers, and you're also more likely to get chosen that way as well. Okay, that was another long spiel. Oh my goodness. How much do you have to make to file taxes? There's a certain threshold, and I can't even remember what it is off the top of my head, so I apologize. But with a quick Google search, you can find it. Do you have a business? Yes, I do. I already said that. It's like, what do you think I'm doing here? Like, this is my job. Hi, guys. I'm doing my first tester call. First pattern, want to do a tester call on Instagram. Any tips for how to type up patterns and how to do a tester call? I'm not sure how to do it. Okay, for typing up the pattern, I would say make sure that you have everything included that anybody could possibly want to know. I assume if you're writing a pattern, you've probably followed a lot of patterns. So take everything that you like from other people's patterns and kind of make it your own. And yeah, just make sure you have like all the details, of course, all the abbreviations, include the materials you used. Excuse me, materials you used. I cannot stop like hiccuping randomly. Oh my goodness. Anyways, so yeah, include that stuff within the pattern, and then also for the tester call, make sure you're super specific on the Instagram post. If you want like guidelines, you can go to one of my tester calls in the past, would probably be helpful, to see what I include, what I have the requirements as, and then what I include, like say the tester needs to do this, this, and this, and give me feedback by this date type thing. So always have that too, because I personally almost never apply to a tester call unless it has a specific date saying you need to be done by this date, because I don't want to be the person that's like not finished and everybody else is finished. So yeah, anyways, that's just a me thing probably, but yeah, I think that's like pretty much it for a tester call. I mean, it's not too difficult. And then once you select the testers, I always add them to a group chat on Instagram, and if there's ever any problems with the pattern, they can put it in there. That way everybody knows, and I can get back to them and say, oh, okay, it should be written this way instead of how it is, and that way they know what the correction is. Do you have a list of things you want to make at least once? I do. Like a jumbo bee is on there. I've had that on my list for so long to do a jumbo bee, and I have yet to make it, so maybe one day. Control Command F is the keyboard shortcut to search. Google Docs for pattern she uses. And list. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know you could do that on a Google Doc, but that's great to know. And yeah, I always include them in a Google Doc because on YouTube, in the description, there's a character limit. So after I link all the yarns, all the patterns, everything, it reaches the character limit really fast. But I do always link everything in the order that I'm discussing it. So if I'm sharing an everything I crocheted video, if I start out by saying I crocheted a bee first thing, and then I show you a snake last that I crocheted, it's going to be in that order with everything in between. So that's also a good way to find things. But apparently also the Control Shift F, Control Command F, then you can search on Google Doc. Good to know. I live in Florida, specifically, in the US of A. Katie, did you see the live action Little Mermaid movie? I have not. I haven't actually seen like any movies in a long time. I'm too busy doing this stuff. Any recommendations for Christmas in July in particular? My event this next month is actually Christmas in July, so that's an exciting question. I have one coming up at the end of July, and honestly, I'm mostly hoping I don't get a heat stroke, yeah. Same here. I'll wish you luck and you wish me luck. But honestly, anything Christmassy, but I would still make sure you have your regular items, because since it's July, not everybody's going to want to buy Christmas stuff. And same thing with like December too, not everybody's going to want to buy Christmas stuff. But snowman, gingerbread man, like I have a bunch of Christmas stuff that I actually made during Creative Crochet Month, or not Creative Crochet Month, that's March. Creative Christmas on my channel last year in 2022, and I never got the opportunity to sell it anywhere, so I'm gonna bring it to Christmas in July this year. Do you have insurance for markets? I do not, but that is something I'm gonna be looking into soon, especially now that I'm getting into more markets and markets that are like more expensive for the vendor fee and stuff like that. I definitely am going to be looking into that. First steps for prepping for a large event. I have a 10-day event in August. 10-day event. Oh my gosh. I'm a little nervous about it. Inventory. I can imagine. Definitely come up with a list for what you would like to have. And maybe a list for like, okay, let's say I sell like 50 items each day, or 100 items each day even, depending on how busy you're thinking the event's going to be. Make sure you have at least enough to where, okay, if I sold 50 items a day for 10 days, I would need this many items. I'm not that good at math, but you know what I mean. It's also probably, doing something like that is probably a good way to make sure you have at least a decent amount. But I always like to say, my dad has told me this so many times too, because I will be freaking out about markets, and he's like, selling out is a good problem to have. If you sell out, that is like the best case scenario. So of course you don't want to sell out on day one of a 10-day market, like that would not be so good, but still, selling out is a good problem to have. So just remember that. Oh, request for gnomes. That makes sense, honestly. Smaller following for tester calls. Tester call in 2 videos. And only 2 people responded. Well, there you go. So the person that was asking about never getting chosen for tester calls, go to Penguin Place Crafts and apply for their tester call. And anybody that's on here, go to them and apply to their tester call if you want to test some patterns. Love how so many young people are crocheting because I am a young entrepreneur, and 2 girls from my friend group also crochet, and it's so nice to have people to crochet with who aren't 70. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I still love crocheting with you, Grandma. Yeah, it's really nice. The reason I was at the store I sell at yesterday is because I now host a group called Fiber Friends Group. If you guys haven't heard me talk about it, I feel like I talk about it all the time, so you might have heard me talk about it. But anyways, and yesterday I had one older lady and one younger girl, so it was nice, kind of a nice balance. Ironically, like 2 or 3 of the people that came to the last one happened to be out of town this time, so there was only 2 people that came yesterday. But anyways, it was a nice balance to have like an older person, a younger person, and little old me. Struggling to find markets that still have openings for vendors. They all seem to be booked up a year in advance. It really depends on your area, because for some markets in my area, they don't even have an application out until like a month or 2 beforehand. And some markets will have an application out like literally a year in advance and get booked up. So it really depends. And if you have to, go ahead and apply for a market that's like a year down the line. And that way at least you have plenty of time to prep. And if you do find a market that's like next month at some point, then you could sign up for that too and just see how it goes. I'm in Mississippi and it's been in the 90s every day. We've been in the 90s every day too, but it's a feel like of like 100 something most days, so it's not fun. You're beautiful, thank you so much. Is it better to do a tester call on Ribbler or Instagram? Either way. Ribbler is also a good place to apply for tester calls. I should have said that when I was answering that question earlier, but it is a really good place to apply for tester calls, because people that don't have Instagram at all or social media at all, but they want to release patterns, will sometimes do it through Ribbler. So you can also find patterns on there to test. But I would say you can honestly do both and just choose like half of the people from Instagram and half of the people from Ribbler. Or if you get like no interest from people on Instagram, you could choose everybody from Ribbler and vice versa, right? So I would say you could put it on both and see how it goes. Are you doing any Canada Day crochet items? I'm not in Canada, so no. But if I was, I probably would be. But yeah, I'm not in Canada, so I don't think Canada stuff would particularly sell. When starting out as a crochet business in Florida, did you get business insurance, LLC? Yeah, I talked about this earlier, so you're probably just now joining, which is okay. But yeah, licensing and like all of that, taxes and whatnot, I'm like not really the person to ask because I am in the process of like needing to do that stuff. I am just now getting to the point where I'm actually doing markets on a regular schedule and taking them seriously and actually making a decent amount at them and yada yada yada, and actually like paying for events that are bigger than I used to do and all that jazz. So in general, probably a Google search / actually talking to a professional would be the best way to go about it. My mom and I soon are meeting with her accountant because my parents own business, so they already have an accountant. So we're meeting with him soon because yeah, I really need to get on that stuff. And so yeah, I apologize. I'm no help with those type of questions, but I would definitely look into it. I'm going to be looking into it too. I should have looked into it. Words. Wow. I should have looked into it a long time ago myself, and I just haven't, but I am doing it. Okay. When did you start selling your items at markets? I did my first market ever in 2019, like May of 2019 or something, and then didn't really do them until like 2021, or no, 2022 actually. I think it's been around a year ago now that I actually did my first like market, like real market, I guess you could say. So yeah. Would you come to Chicago? Maybe one day? I don't know. Have you guys heard about the Crochet Con? If you haven't, you need to look Crochet Con up on TikTok. And follow the lady that's hosting it because there is going to be a Crochet Con in July of 2024 in Omaha, Nebraska. And I am honestly considering reaching out to the lady that is hosting it and seeing if I could be, because she's talking about having like special guests and people could do meet and greets and stuff. I am considering, I don't know if I'm big enough like or not to actually like have my own meet and greet at the event. But I am considering reaching out to her and being like, hey, I would love to have a meet and greet. Like, is there a way we could work out doing that? So yeah, that would be really cool if I could do that. But anyways, I don't know if that's a year down the line, so I don't know for sure on any of that. Glad I got to be on here with you. I have to go to bed. Have a good night. Have a good rest of your life, or rest of your day tomorrow. Thank you. Same to you. I hope you have a good night. Sorry, another question. No problem. Do you think collaborations with other crochet YouTubers would help me grow my channel? Totally. Collaborations in any like YouTube channel is a great idea. The main things you want to look for is somebody that is making the same type of videos as you. So if you're making crochet videos, you want somebody that's also making crochet videos. And you also need, you don't need this necessarily, but I would recommend somebody that is around the same amount of followers as you and is getting around the same amount of views as you. Because I have 12,000 subscribers on my channel now. So let's say I collabed with somebody that had like 100 followers. I could do that if I wanted to. And I don't want this to sound like selfish or anything, but if I collabed with somebody that had like only 100 subscribers and only got like maybe a handful of views on each video, it would seem like they're gaining a bunch of new followers from me, but I'm not gaining much from them. If you're doing a collab, you want it to be, you're both kind of on the same playing field already, and you're just building off of each other. You don't want it to feel like one person is gaining a whole bunch and one person is gaining nothing, basically, is the best way I can explain it. But collaborations are definitely good. I love that you tend to use one kind of yarn. I have 50 different kinds I use still. Can't figure out the leggy frog. He has a hole in his arm. whenever you do leggy frogs, make sure you're like doing the stitches pretty tight, especially in that area around the arm, and that should help. Do you have any tips for writing your own amigurumi pattern? I want to try it, but I'm not sure where to start. If you're not sure where to start, I would recommend following a lot of amigurumi patterns yourself and getting the basics down of a magic circle and how to increase in the round, how to decrease, how to do invisible decrease, like all of that jazz. Make sure you understand all the basics first, and then once you feel confident with that, you should feel confident in writing patterns. And honestly, just mess around with it. And if you feel like this is not coming out the way I want it to, maybe give it a few more weeks or months or whatever of practice, and then try again. Because we all learn at different pace, so I definitely couldn't have wrote patterns, especially amigurumi patterns, with only like a year into crocheting, but some people can. So it's really going to depend. How do you gain traction on Instagram? I'm starting to sell plushies and no one has bought any yet. Instagram is honestly for me like not my strong suit. I mostly gain followers and subscribers here on YouTube. I've done a lot of research on YouTube. I like can tell you like the back of my hand how to grow on YouTube. But Instagram, not so much. I'm slowly but surely learning on Instagram, but I'm iffy on Instagram. But a lot of my Instagram followers have found me through YouTube and then followed me over there. So, like, I feel like I'm not the best person to ask, but what I can tell you is Reels are a really good way to reach a lot of different people on Instagram, as well as posting anything that people would want to save. Instagram really values people saving a post, like putting the bookmark on it. They really value that. So all of my free crochet patterns that I post on Instagram do really well and get a lot more likes than my regular post because people are saving it, and then more people will find it because other people are saving it and Instagram's promoting it because people are saving it and liking it, and it's a cycle. So yeah, posting things that are valuable that people would actually like want to save and look at in the future, as well as just like reels, things that are funny, people really like, things that teach somebody something new is also really good. So anything like that. CrochetCon does sound like so much fun, and I am so excited about it. Even if I don't think I said this part earlier, maybe I did. I'm the worst about repeating myself, I apologize. Especially when I'm editing videos, I'll be like, why did I say that like 10 times? But anyways, if I am, even if I don't like get to be like a creator and have a meet and greet and stuff at the CrochetCon, I'm still gonna go. Like my mom and I are already planning it. We're gonna go. And possibly my sister too. And we're gonna try to talk my dad into it and just make it like a family vacation. But we don't know for sure if he'll go or not. But yeah. It'll be really fun either way. If you had a meet and greet, I would totally beg my parents to let me come. I hope you can. I hope all of you can come if you want to. I know it won't be realistic, of course, but I'll definitely like make vlogs and a lot of things like that if I do, especially have a meet and greet, so that you guys can feel like you're there even if you're not there. And another girl that is doing the CrochetCon did say that like meet and greets and stuff would be included with your ticket price for actually going to CrochetCon, so you don't have to pay extra, which is really nice too. And then she did also say, I believe, that it would be live streamed for like some of the events too, so you can like join. I don't know if it would be on YouTube or TikTok or what, but either way it'd be live streamed, so that you can join via online and not actually have to like pay for a flight and pay for the ticket to go, you know. So there's a bunny that I'm trying to crochet, and attaching the legs is confusing. I'm watching a couple videos but still don't get it. I feel like attaching the legs is pretty, I don't know, I guess it depends on the pattern. I don't know, I'm sorry, I would have to like see the pattern to understand. But yeah. Okay. You're beautiful. Thank you so much. I've done a series of interviews over the course of years with different creators and have met some just amazing people. I'm sure that sounds super awesome. What app do you use to keep track of time and figure out how much to sell for? It's called Time Track Pro. My video that is on how I price crochet items is a good one to check out. I show like how I use the app in that video. And like what the app looks like and everything. How do you come up with ideas for amigurumi patterns? Based off of a lot of things. It could be really anything. Like the squishmallows are obviously based off of squishmallows. But anything. Mainly it's just like actual like stuffed animals a lot of times. Again, like squishmallows. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's just like random ideas too. Like my 3-scoop ice cream cone pattern. I had this idea one day. I don't know where it even popped into my head from, but it popped into my head. And I was like, I need to make an ice cream cone that each scoop of ice cream has a different face on it. And I did. I don't know why it popped into my head, but it did and I made it. Do you have a new studio tour for your yarn after you're moving? I will have a whole moving series actually. So it'll be like packing up this whole yarn room and like saying goodbye to this yarn room in this house, which I don't even want to think about because I'll probably cry. But then it'll be like putting together the new yarn room, getting it all ready, and then a yarn room tour, which you guys, the yarn room in the new house is 674 square foot. Which is insane. So yeah, get ready for that. Signing off, everyone have a good night. Thank you, Katie. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you have enjoyed. Counting stitches with chenille yarn or blanket yarn is so hard. Any tips how to do that? Honestly, it just comes with practice. I do use a stitch marker, so I don't really have to count my stitches very often. I try to avoid it because it is difficult. But yeah, just practice, unfortunately, is how you learn. The stuff you crochet is so cute and you inspired me to start crocheting. I love hearing that. I love that I'm able to inspire people. And like I said earlier, you guys inspire me all the time too. So I absolutely love that it's mutual. Thank you. I'm having trouble figuring out that would work. Or finding one that would work and figuring you might know. I'm gonna have to apologize in advance because I don't know what you're referring to. You probably said something earlier that I either skipped over or I read and completely forgot that I read it. But I apologize. I sent you the link to the bunny pattern via Instagram. Sounds good. I can look at that once I'm off here. Well, probably not immediately after because I am going to film some other videos, but eventually I will. When you move, are you still going to be in the Tampa, Florida area? Yes, I am. It's only going to be like 15-20 minutes down the road. So I am going to be still in the same area. I'll still be here in the same markets, all that jazz. So it's just to a bigger house with property as well. So, alright, I'm actually caught up on the comments, you guys, which I had comments from on my community tab, and I never even answered these ones. So I feel like I should probably do that because I specifically asked for people to leave questions here, and I never even answered those questions. So I'm going to do that really quick, and then I'm going to hop off, because it's getting pretty late now. Yeah, it's 10:19 now, which normally I only stay on for an hour, so I've already gone over that, which is fine. But anyways, okay. Somebody did ask if I announced the winners for the market sign giveaway, which I meant to mention this at the beginning of the live, and I forgot. But if you saw, I did have my last market video. I had a giveaway at the end of it, and I did email the winners. on like Saturday night or something. And I'm still currently working on the signs. I have 1 person's done so far and 4 more to go. But yeah, I did announce that and email the people, so check your email to see if you were a winner. But yeah, okay. How do I start a crochet business is on here. Honestly, the basics. I do have a video on how to like start, my tips for beginner. But the main thing is just figuring out where you want to sell. Do you want to sell at markets? Do you want to sell online? And figuring out what you want to sell. Do you want to sell plushies? Do you want to sell blankets? Do you want to sell hats? Do you want to sell a combination of things? Figuring all that out is the main things, and what I mentioned in that like beginner tips for selling video, or how to get started selling in general, I think is what the video is called. Anyways, the main thing I talked about is like starting out with selling to your family and friends. That way you get an idea of what you want to sell and how to price the items, all of that jazz, and then go forward with either markets or Etsy or wherever you want to sell. So I feel like that's kind of the basics for how to start, but then of course, you know, it spirals from there pretty much. A lot of these aren't really business questions, but I guess I could answer them really fast. I'm just gonna do like a lightning round. What is your favorite crochet project? My sunflower pillow that I made a full crochet with me video on is my favorite. Favorite crochet hook is clover hooks. I use 5 and 7 most often. What's your favorite yarn to use when you're crocheting? Burnette blanket. How do you determine how many plushies or items to make for a single event? This is a really good question. So I won't do like lightning round for this, because this is actually like businessy too. But it's gonna depend on the event, the size of the event, how long the event goes, all of it. I don't really ever have a specific amount that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna crochet this amount. I almost never do, because you never know what life is gonna throw at you. So sometimes I'll have like 100 items, sometimes I'll have 200, sometimes 300, sometimes, I don't know, it's random. But honestly, I just crochet as much as I can up until the event, and I just have to tell myself that will do, because at some point the event is gonna come and go. This amount of frogs before the event, but I don't necessarily come up with like a total amount, this is what I want, or anything like that. Have you ever mosaic crocheted before? I have not. And I think this is the last one that was on here for the questions. Yes, okay. Would you recommend starting at craft shows or online? This is multiple questions, so I'll start out with that first. Craft shows or online? Definitely craft shows. You can start an online shop and just see how it goes, but for most people, you're gonna find that you're not gonna sell very much, because online you have to have some sort of audience to find you, and then you promote the online store. So it's good to have both. You can have an Etsy and do the craft shows, and if you're too busy with craft shows, you can just put your Etsy on vacation mode or something like that, or just not really have anything listed. But if you have an Etsy, then it gives places for people to go that are finding you at markets. So if they want to buy from you in the future, but they're from out of town or something, they can still buy from you on Etsy. So having options for both is technically best, but I would say craft shows overall. And then how do I find good craft shows and markets? I did talk about this a little bit earlier, but Facebook groups, even just a plain Google search, the fairsandfestivals.net website are all good options. I want to make some plushie designs towards babies. What do you recommend? Should I put safety eyes on them? Thank you. Definitely no safety eyes. If you're marketing towards babies, I had a lady like at my last event on Saturday that was like, oh, I want to send this to my nephew, he's 2 or something like that. I don't remember who she said it was, but anyway. And I was like, okay, well, these are safety eyes, so you definitely don't want to. I was like, but I do have these that don't have safety eyes, and she bought a little gummy bear that doesn't have safety eyes in it, so that was a good option. So you can definitely have a little bit of both, have eyes that have safety eyes. Just make sure you tell people this isn't good for babies. Don't give this to a child, you know? And then you can also have some that you embroider and some that you do felt eyes. Like, you can do all kinds of options. So there's options for everything. All right, so that was my last question for the actual community tab. So I'm now going to finish up with what you guys are saying here, and then I'm gonna hop off shortly after that because I'm getting tired. And I also have other filming to do tonight. How do you get your color changes even on the bees? My color changes are not even, I just hide it by like sewing the wings over it or something like that. But there is a technique, specifically All From Jade on her Instagram page has a tutorial on how to do an invisible color change. She might even have it on YouTube too, I don't know for sure, but I know for sure she has it on Instagram at least. I would definitely recommend checking that out for an invisible color change. I can't remember like off the top of my head how to do it. But if there is ever a pattern that it's like very visible, the color changes, I will go through and rewatch her tutorial and do it that same way so that it's not visible. But if it's something like a bee where I can hide it and sew the wings over or something, I don't bother doing invisible color changes. Crocheting a duck with a bucket or a cow print bucket hat right now. I've made that pattern before. It is so cute and sells well. I've had trouble with that too. Is there a way we can view this live after it's done? Yes, it'll be posted. There's actually a tab on my YouTube channel. I can show you because I have my computer up here. There's a tab. So this is what my YouTube channel looks like. Don't mind my busted up laptop, okay? Don't mind it. It literally has duct tape on. But, okay. This is my channel. Gosh, there's a glare. That does not look good. Anyways, you can't really see at all. But there's different tabs here. There's one that says live. You go there, and all the live streams I've done in the past will be right there. For your viewing pleasure. I'm making a pink rabbit for a friend's birthday. It's turning out a lot bigger than expected. That happens to me all the time, but it's super cute of you to make something for their birthday. How much would you say it cost to get started selling your makes? It heavily depends. If you want to get started at markets, probably a couple $100 for your setup. If you need a tent, if you need tables, it could be virtually nothing at a market if you are lucky enough to find an event that's free and that provides like tables and stuff for you. But probably a couple $100 if you're doing a market, because you will need tables, chairs, a tent weights to pay a vendor fee majority of the time. So yeah, market's probably a couple $100. I would try not to go over like $200 or $300. I would definitely budget yourself because you want to make sure you can make enough money back. And then Etsy and selling online is going to be different. You need packaging materials, so that's probably the most expensive actually, is packaging materials, especially if you want to do like cute packaging. But you don't even need cute packaging. You could just reuse boxes from like stuff you've ordered on Amazon and whatnot, because I've definitely done that. And I still do that because we have way too many Amazon boxes. My mom has a little bit of an Amazon problem. But yeah, it's just going to depend. Your main cost for starting something like Etsy would just be the fees, which is probably less than like $100 if I had to guess. But I know fees and stuff have changed since I started, so I don't know exactly how much it would be to start, but yeah. Okay. That's always happens to me. Like, I expect it to be small, but it's huge. Yeah, that definitely happens. I guess we all have like a different expectation for how big something will be, and then it ends up either being bigger or smaller. Because I've had both happen for sure before. Yes, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already, because it does help. It always helps if if you're watching any of my videos ever, like, don't forget, because it really does. And somebody said earlier that I deserve more subscribers, and I'm like, thank you, first off, for even saying that and thinking that. But if you guys want to help in that mission, then, you know, give the videos a thumbs up, and then it tells the YouTube algorithm, like, hey, this person liked this video enough to watch it and give it a thumbs up, so that means other people are gonna like it, so we should promote it to other people. So, just saying. Oh yeah, I can only imagine with wearables and stuff how the gauge and stuff. This is why I don't make wearables. With safety eyes, I give any parents a warning to supervise, and that works well. Yeah, totally. Actually, on my thank you cards, I sell the thank you cards, and I haven't updated them to have this little warning. I need to. But on the ones that I print out and take to my own markets, they have a warning at the bottom of them that say items made with safety eyes are not good for small children and pets. Please make sure they stay away from or supervise, or however, I don't know exactly how I have it worded, but in general I do have like a warning on that, because I don't want anybody to like not know that it's not safe for their kid and then something bad happens, you know. What would you recommend starting with for amigurumi? I think my bee tutorial is a great one to start out with. If you're looking for an amigurumi tutorial to start out with. But that's just me talking. A lot of people have told me that they really liked that tutorial, and I've gotten a few DMs and stuff saying that it was their first amigurumi ever, and they found the tutorial really helpful and everything. So it's not just me talking, but I think the tutorial is pretty good. But yeah. And it's also one of the most viewed videos on my channel now, so that's pretty cool too. Yes, thank you. Don't forget to hit the like button. I'm about to get off, so I'm going to answer this last question that's here. Where do you get your patterns? Because they are so, so cute. A bunch of different places. Any patterns that you ever see me crochet is always linked in the description box of the video. So if I'm doing how much can I crochet in one day, every crochet pattern that I crocheted in that video is linked in the description box of that video. If I'm doing everything I crocheted in the month of May or June or whatever month, it's linked in the description box of that video, and it's always linked in the order that I discussed everything, so that it's easy for you guys to find it. I was saying this earlier in the live, but seriously, it takes me like multiple hours, especially for the everything I crocheted videos and everything I crocheted for the market videos. It takes me so long to go through and find all the links for all of the patterns that I used. So they are there, unless I made a mistake on accident and forgot to include like one pattern or something, but they are there. So use those resources. But yeah, most of the time it's Instagram, Ribbler, Etsy, places like that that I find patterns on. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have enjoyed, and thank you for all your questions. I always love being able to help you guys, and I love you guys being here. So yeah, I will hopefully have another live in July. July is the month where we're moving, and the house is like got a little bit of work that we're going to be doing and stuff, so things are about to get really hectic for me. So I'm not going to guarantee a live. I normally do a live once a month here on YouTube. I'm not going to guarantee one for July just because I don't know yet, but I do always post on my community tab for like a week or two in advance for the date for when the next live will be. So I did just see another question. Are your patterns free or paid? My specific patterns that I design, I have some that are free and some that are paid for. So Instagram and Ribbler is where you can find free patterns, and then Ribbler and Etsy is where you can find the patterns that are for purchase from me. But yeah, and then lots of patterns I use are free, and lots of them I use are for purchase. I feel like it's kind of 50-50. So if you want to know if they're free or for purchase, then you can always just hit the link, and if it says you have to purchase it, then it's not free. But if it says it's free, then it's free. So anyways, alright, I'm gonna get going, you guys, because I've been on here for an hour and a half now. So yeah, I'm gonna get going, but thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys found this helpful. Definitely let me know if you think I should do a live like this again with the same topic of like answering business related questions. And yeah, thank you again for joining me, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!